Hello.
Hello. Right. How
Looks
are
like
you?
we're live.
There you go. Yes.
How you
Hello,
doing,
everybody.
mate?
Yeah.
Hello,
not too
everyone.
bad. Yes. So I had a moment there, and I was like, "Oh, hang on."
Yeah,
Like,
because I've got the video, the YouTube channel open on the right, and the countdown timer is still going, and I forgot about the delay.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, totally by surprise. Hello.
You got time to drink your coffee. It's good.
Yeah.
That's
Hello out there. Welcome to MOC Heads, the very first episode thereof.
Hello, welcome everybody. Hope everyone's good.
Yeah. I'm Ollie, otherwise known as Askew, and this is Gaz.
I'm Gaz, known as the Minifig Who.
Together we are Ollie and
Heads.
Gaz.
Yeah, Ollie and Gaz and MOC Heads.
And this is MOC Heads. Yeah. So we'll say hello to everyone out on the chat. Wow, there's a few of you already.
1 or 16. Oh, I think. To be fair, I lost count after I ran out of fingers, so you know.
It's a good way to count stuff. Hello, Gordon, Matt, Family Bricks, Martin Madlib, TJ. Also got sort of Rika, Mark,
cool.
Craig, Brickstage Pass, Greg, London T Bridge. London T Bridge. Sorry, I was looking at TLAC, London Bridge Bricks, and TLAC below. Hello, TLAC. Nice to see you here.
You're not rebranding Greg, are you? They're doing
yeah, London T Bridge.
Yeah.
Mr. T, a crossover with Mr. T. And we've also got Chris, One Brick Stud, KO, Tech. Wow, all the people. And I think that is everyone. If I've missed anyone.
Yeah.
Oh, and Ian Bricksbod, possibly Carrie as well.
What's it? ACOT. What's ACOT? A couple. Oh, okay. Right. Moving on. I worked that one out a bit too quickly.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So,
that's a bit of an inside joke, that one.
Yeah. Thanks, Ian.
Anyway. I guess we started this stream because we wanted to talk about MOCs. There's not much, I guess, on YouTube about MOCs, or at least live streaming. Well, Gaz horrifically dies over there.
Yeah. Too much shortbread.
Death by shortbread is not a bad way to go. So we wanted to talk MOCs, just geek out a bit. You don't really get the opportunity to talk about it too much. So like I say, geek out, hopefully learn some stuff, meet some people. We've got some cracking guests lined up for the future. We've been pretty busy this week getting in touch with people.
Definitely have.
Yeah, the list is
cool guys as well.
Yeah, great to chat to everyone and to meet people.
Also, mental note: don't read chat whilst drinking, because. But so we've got a few points that we're going to cover. But if there's anybody in the chat, you have any questions, just put a message up, and we'll see if we can answer it as best we can as well.
Just stick up. We do have the chats open, so we will do our best to keep track of it all.
Yes.
There's also a poll to see if you do MOCs or if you don't, or somewhere in between. I guess along the lines of, do you modify stuff? We touched on this in the chat before this, like what constitutes a MOC?
Does adding an extra brick make it a MOC, or is it just a mod sort of thing?
Or is it something else entirely?
Well,
so I feel like that could be an ongoing conversation around. I wonder if there'd be any hot takes around that.
There might be. No, it's definitely a MOC. No, it's not.
Like, is a city a MOC? I'm just going to launch straight into this conversation now. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Well, I think some of it is, because it depends. Because you're taking some elements and just putting them in a particular order and adding bits of your own, I suppose. So. Yeah,
so I guess the bits of a city wouldn't be a MOC necessarily, unless of course you've made the buildings yourself. If you're just using like the modular buildings that Lego sell, then the components aren't necessarily MOCs. But putting it all together. Is that a mock? Kind of.
The thing is as well, though, is you're thinking about like that as well, though. It's like technically like the bricks are done by Lego, so that's an element that you use.
Yeah.
So you could just say the building's like a whole element, and you're using that to make a bigger mock. So
exactly. It's just a different scale of mocking. Or is it?
See, tech saying sets on a table. Is that wow?
That's it, I suppose. Is this behind? Is our display? Yeah, I guess if you equate it to, is our display a mock?
Yeah, it's
a similar conversation, similar thing.
So, see, we've covered it already. No, we haven't really talked. Barely dipped your toe in, because you can do so much. Though, I mean, as you say, you can just completely redo the buildings. I think like. Craig and Johanna have modified the Natural History Museum.
Yeah,
and it's the same, but it's different. So
because I'd say that's firmly modification, mod territory.
Yeah,
with like obviously heavy mocking experience and influence going in there, but it's still the bones of it are the modular. It's clearly like you can identify it as the museum has been modified.
Right, yeah, because it's still got the elements that you'd use, isn't it? But presenting it differently, maybe.
Hello to Elandriel out there.
You found the button. You found the button.
I'm getting to know StreamYard.
There you go. You'd be like, so was it all like in the Minority Report?
Just see what the chat's saying. So Craig says these are continuous mocks if you actually
well, see, that's one of the things. The other things I was thinking as well, and I'm jumping ahead really, because obviously we've got like a list of what we wanted to discuss, but it's this kind of jumping ahead really, because it's follow on though. But would you ever say a mock's done ever? Like you say, like a city's always evolving. You ever get to the point with a mocking, you're like, no, it's done now. This is exactly what I want. Or
it's a very good question. I think with a city, I can't imagine a city ever being done.
No,
because I guess it reflects. Well, firstly, reflects real life. Cities are never done, right? They're constantly being constructed, and then
roads being dug up. Yeah.
Someone's going to make them potholes. And then also Lego are releasing at least one modular on building each year. So you're going to have to find. Well, I mean, I can't imagine there are many city builders who just say, like, right, that's me done now. I'm never going to buy another modular again.
Yeah, I was like, I'm done. That's it. That's perfect.
My work is finished.
Just gathers dust.
And for a mock, like mocks that I've done, it's really hard to say when it is done. I think setting setting rails around it to start with help. So it's like, right, I've only got this 32 by 32 base plate, so I'm not going to go any bigger than that. And
famous last words.
Yeah. But then also it's like, well, right, I've done that section of it. Like, do I go back and redo it? Is that actually good enough? There's definitely an element of knowing when to say that's enough. Like, that is good enough. Otherwise, because
So what is that moment? Just asking him for a friend, obviously.
When it's done and I'm bored.
Oh, there you are.
No, I don't know. It's a tough one. I think
I've definitely never finished anything. No, I have finished. No, that sounds wrong. Okay, so I finished stuff to the point that that's good, but there's also a point and it's like, I still want to do that, or I want to change that, because it's like you're learning new bits all the time as well, and you're like, oh, actually, if I just did it using that brick, that would be so much better. Or they bring out a new one, and you're on new elementary, and you're like, right, perfect.
It's really hard. I think if I'm happy with it, even though it could be improved on, I'll put a pin in it almost, be like, right, that's enough for this mock, and then I can revisit it later down the line, and then never revisit it later down the line because I end up doing something else. but it seems to work.
There's the element of what's that? Something new? Something new.
Yes, there is that. Yeah, there's not just is a mock ever done? It's will a mock ever get close to done because you get distracted by something shiny halfway through doing one.
Always a goal.
But yeah, I think I learned through work, because I work in software, and there's a whole thing around like perfection is the enemy of good. So if you're constantly striving for something to be perfect, you'll just get stuck on that one thing, and you'll ignore the rest, and you don't need it to be perfect. You just need it to be good enough to get it out and then to get it deployed, and then move on to the next thing. And I think I apply that to this, whether I'm happy with it or not.
Yeah, we can be happy with it for a day. That's the best thing. I mean, like Craig has mentioned it as well, about sitting behind it and seeing what someone else has done. I think, that's a good idea. It's like, how many times have you done that? And you're like, I wish I'd thought of that. Oh, that would improve this bit. So it's like, great. Yeah. Fantastic. Oh dear. So
let's see what the chat is saying quickly. Hello to Bonnie Bricks, Maxine out there. I saw you saying stuff. I did see Mark say something about an artist is never fully content with their art. They'll always find flaws. You just need to know and say it's good enough. Yeah. You're your own worst critic, right?
Oh yeah.
And it can be
easily.
And it can be quite debilitating, can't it? Like to the point.
What is it? Imposter syndrome, isn't it? They call it.
Yes, that's the thing, right? And it's like gets me to the point where it's like the way I think it through too much before I even start, to the point where it's like, well, I can't do that now. I'm not going to do that because it's not going to be good enough. So I just move on to the next idea.
Yeah, easy. And the worst thing as well, there's sometimes, I mean, I don't know if anyone else does it as well, but you're like, just go on YouTube or something, and someone will show off something they've done. You're like, why do I even bother? Look at that. That's amazing. It's like, but then someone says that about your stuff, and you're like, really? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, there is definitely an element of seeing other people's stuff, and you're like, especially on Instagram, it's like, oh yeah, wow, what? Like that's what I want to do, but I'm nowhere near that. And obviously, there's only one way to try and get close to it, and that's just to do it. But
it's said. It's like it's not how it looked in my head, but it's kind of close, It's like,
yeah. And I suppose that leads on to, I think, I kind of touched on it in one of our topics. We'll see how our topics list goes, because it feels like it's just jumping around nicely, but it's all good. So when you're happy enough with it, what is your kind of your end goal with a mock? Is it to just have it sat on the shelf and for you to look at it? Is it to get it on Instagram? Is it to display? Is it to do a YouTube video, or what is, you have a goal when you reach a mock?
So, So I just, I mean, some of them. Originally I sort of did some of them just so I could have them, and then it was a case of then I started my page, and then I sort of just did more and more, and I was showing them, and people seemed to like them. I was like, okay, and you sort of keep trying to better yourself each time, or trying to do something using more techniques, because that's the other thing as well, is you learn new stuff. I mean, all the time as well, and so you're trying to better it and stuff. But now it's a case of I'll do some, and I'm quite happy for people to see, because I think for me as well, knowing that somebody's seeing something that I've done and actually maybe taking some sort of enjoyment. That sounds really enlightened, doesn't it? But if someone takes some sort of enjoyment, or they happen to like something that I've done, then that's quite nice. Really.
Yeah. There's definitely an element of that, and I think there's a fine line between, there's a whole thing with social media of like chasing numbers and all of that, but it is nice to see people's reactions, and maybe that's like displaying might be the ultimate form of seeing that, because you actually see people's reactions. I've only done it once, mine. So but displaying that like in an exhibit or something, a convention. But it is it is nice to see people appreciate something. Yeah, and it's hard. Yeah, I think for myself, because I guess I focus on Instagram mostly, or just with friends, sending it to like yourself or like Lego friends.
Yeah.
Like on Discord or chats. I'm happier to just show it directly to people, I guess, than Instagram or like Reddit. I used to use Reddit quite a lot and post on there. Which is
it really
a weird kettle of fish. It can work sometimes, and other times stuff just completely flops.
It's like that though. It's like that on Instagram though as well. Sometimes, I mean, you can, you do this post and you think, oh God, this is like, I don't know, the culmination of weeks worth of likes or whatever, work, and then nobody seems to notice it. And you're like, okay, so I must try harder. It's like,
yeah. Well, I suppose then, like Greg's made a good point. Like, it's bad enough being your own critic, but when you get others doing it right at you have to have thick skin. So, I guess if you get big enough on Instagram or whatever platform you use, or even maybe there's people who do it at an exhibition who will just outright criticize to your face what you've done. I can't imagine there's many people, but there might be some.
There's always one or two. And it's a really odd thing. I mean, this is completely off topic really of MOCs, but it's an odd thing though when someone sort of thinks that, it's fine because you're the other side of this table. We can tell you everything we think. And you're like,
if he's gonna lunge at me, he's gonna have to go through his Lego display first.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hold me back.
Have you had that then? Have you had people like openly criticize?
Not so much, but you get someone who just says something really silly, and they're like, oh well, I didn't like that bit. When we saw it, because obviously I've got a lot of themed MOCs anyway, but then you get somebody and they always sort of say, oh well, I always thought that was a rubbish thing anyway, and it's like, okay, that's nice.
Spent 10 hours doing that, mate.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, thanks. So yeah, it's a funny one in that sense, but then on the other hand, then you get nice reactions from people as well, which I think makes up for that.
Yeah, absolutely. The one, like I say, I've only displayed once, I think. Yeah, and it was quite a quiet show.
Steam this year.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, maybe. I need to. This is another topic of conversation, but designing MOCs around shows and transporting them is a whole level that I need to figure out. But
I've worked that bit out.
But yeah, it is awesome seeing the reaction on people's faces, and getting, because it does reminded me that Lego is a kid's toy, and it seems very much that to do a good display, you gear it towards kids, basically.
Must remember to do that more. as opposed to when people walk up to the table, it's like, don't touch anything.
Yeah, get your grubby mitts off.
Yeah,
just gonna.
And that's when I'm just popping the carry in. Go on. Don't go near the carry. So that's cool.
All right, just catch up on the chat because it seems to have gotten away from me a bit. I've got it here in front of me. So just to go back to the whole whether it's good enough, T-Lax says, I always went with my feeling, good enough for now, good enough for my skill level right now. And yes, that's a good point. Like appreciating your skill level, right, is so you, whether you can, what you want to do isn't necessarily what you can do. Very, very easy to forget and then try doing something and then you realize, I can't do this at all, and just having to scrap it.
Actually, I've just seen Craig's put a really funny comment because it makes me laugh because that's what we do. So he's saying it's easy at shows to ignore the public, praise or not, and if you can get someone else to look after it, he makes stuff up whilst you go and enjoy yourself. And it's funny because that's exactly what we did last time, because we said, Frankie, can you look after ours and the brick boards and Mark's ones, and we need to pop off whatever. And then it's a case of, this is elves. They were made in 1989, and all sorts of goodness knows what. So,
I can imagine that can be quite fun.
Yeah, so he did a good job though. So yeah. So I don't know what these people learned during that slot there, but I'm sure it was the unofficial history of everything.
yeah. No, they would have forgotten it, I'm sure. Hopefully. What's Tech saying? I don't think I'd build as much if I didn't do shows, but on the flip of that, I don't think I have enjoyed some builds as much because I've been rushing. Yeah, okay, yeah, well, we all know that tech. I think you seem to be getting better at it, but leaving it to 24 hours before, I don't think I'd have that in me to pull that off. But it's an interesting point about not building as much if wasn't doing shows, and that's certainly something that I feel sometimes, like at the moment especially, I've not done a mock for a few weeks, I guess, which is a bit weird, like other than the whole time when I was moving house recently for a few months, nothing happened. But
why not? What's going on?
yeah, how incredibly rude. But I don't have that pressure to do anything, and I don't put that pressure of like Instagram on myself or anything to be like, oh, I've got to do all this, so much content or whatever. I'd kind of just do it as and when. See you smirking there. I need to catch up on the chat, I think.
Oh, no, but my eyes are always everywhere. Oh dear. Yes.
Transporting MOCs. Yeah, we know that Mark Mark's probably the person to talk to about transporting MOCs because he goes by public transport, which is what I'll have to do for.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, if you go.
Yeah, that's it. We've got one car between us, so I can't take it. Basically, I feel bad enough if I was to go away somewhere for the weekend. Not bad, but to take the car. But to take the car as well, be like, well, you can't go anywhere now.
It's I haven't found a 100% foolproof way of doing it yet. I mean, the trouble is, well, I've got a couple that I have taken that weren't actually designed to be moved in the first place. So that's why I've got one down here, and I haven't actually opened it since Steam, so I don't know what it's going to look like.
Yeah, I've only done it once, and I did steal the car for the day. But yeah, that was in Southampton. In fact, let me see a picture because it was not designed to be transported. Let me share my screen. We'll try to. We'll see how this works.
Yep. Technical wizardry coming
I ought to be used to this. The amount of times I have to share my screen at work. Working for the remote.
Oh, it's not going to be a PowerPoint presentation, is it? Oh, there you go. Cool.
Well, it kind of is. Anyway, so this, I just played this, and it was certainly not designed to be just to travel, and it made it. I wedged it. I got it. I had found a big enough cardboard box. Like wedged everything in, and it had like space around it, nothing near it.
Oh, yeah.
I got it all the way to Southampton, which is only like admittedly 45-minute drive. And there was no traffic because it was first thing in the morning. And then got it all the way into the venue, and it was on a trolley, hit a little bump, and it just half of it just fell apart.
Just know where this is going. As soon as you say it hit a bump,
the whole bit here, basically, like halfway through, just snapped. I managed to fix it, transport it back home, all fine, and then my wife, bless her, tried to help by getting stuff out of the car and knocked it down, and it broke at the same bit, but smashed everywhere.
Oh no!
So I was like, okay, cool. I'll just take that one apart. That one's done now. Yeah.
So you haven't got this one built anymore, then? This one's
no. I took it apart. It was a bit of a beast. I'll show you. In fact, while we're here, how do I go like this? It started out as this was kind of feeds into like, is a mock done? Because it started out as just that house, which I'd actually used in a whole completely different build. Or like it was 348 by 48 base plates with a big tower and stuff like this. And then so I took this house, and it started out with like a happy family, happy family got killed by orcs.
Not so happy family anymore.
Yeah, not so happily. In fact, you can see some of them here. There's their skulls left over.
A family-friendly one, this one. God.
yeah. Then the house gets dilapidated, and the tree starts growing out of it.
Okay.
And then it got massively out of hand because, I didn't really think about the scale. I started doing the trunk, and then I was like, okay, I need to keep this in like perspective, or whatever the word is, proportions.
Oh, yeah.
And it ended up being like a foot and a half tall. Yeah. So it got a bit out of hand quite quickly, but I was really pleased with it. This was like, I think this was one of the builds that really got me into trees, basically. Yeah.
Well, I'm very good at not getting the scale, actually, because the trouble is, because I use Studio when I'm doing mocking, just because, one, I don't have the parts necessarily that I'm going to need in all the right colors as well, because that's unfortunately, my color palette is generally quite similar across the board.
Yeah,
so,
I've got it. Yeah.
And Lego don't do the right color sometimes. They're just they're not very good. But yeah, so because I use that, it's hard to tell the scale. So like, I've built a couple of things in there, and then when I'm actually building it, like this thing here, you can probably just about see it.
Let me see if I can make you big. Okay, it's wrong. How do I make you big? Again, sorry.
I have sent a picture of it anyway.
You shouldn't be sending those pictures, guys. Sorry. Hello, Nicole. Quickly.
Is it 9 o'clock yet? No. It's not. Oh, dear.
It's fine. The internet's timeless.
Oh, that's it. That's even better. So yeah, this thing. Oh, which by the way, I found out what happened to my 8x8 plates as well. They're all holding this up.
Oh, on this. I haven't got some pictures of this. We can go through the creation of this.
But yeah. So this one, it's quite big-ish, really, I suppose. But yeah, because I built it in Studio, it didn't look quite as big as this. it was quite smaller. And then when you actually build it in IRL, as they say nowadays. But yeah, when I actually built it, then it was like, yeah, that's really a lot bigger than I was expecting, because I was like building it, taller and taller. It's like, this is really, really tall. I wasn't expecting that at all. And it's the same then with one of the TARDISes I took, because I think you saw it, didn't you, as well? The big one. I didn't quite realise how big some of that was, and I built it in Studio, because I built that in like, how many elements was it? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 different elements. So I built them all at different times. Actually, so first of all, I just built the middle control console bit, and then I built the floor to go around it and the arms things that hold it down. I mean, I'll get it out in a minute. And the mock. Yeah.
All right. Gone down this very, very quickly. Sorry.
Yeah. Very, very quickly. But yeah, so I did that. That was separate. And then I built like a little gardeny bit. That was separate again. I built that another like months later. Then I did the doors, which were later again. And that's got bricks going all sorts of directions anyway. And then I built like the library section. I managed to connect them all up. But there was no floor. And it was only when I thought, oh, actually, I could take this to this place, because that will be a good thing, big sort of centerpiece for it all. So then I put the floor in, and then it was like, this is far too big, because it's just like this.
It's impressive, though. It's really cool.
Oh, but I mean, and it's still not. I know. I mean, going back to stuff not being finished, it's not finished because I actually want to change the floor at the back a bit more, because I want to do an actual rug. So this is where like, I don't know if it's the same for yourself, but like when I get ideas for building stuff, it's like I've seen like Lego do something similar. It's like, yeah, that's a good technique. I actually quite like that, and I could use that in this way. Okay. It's like the flooring of that one, because it's a hexagon. I had no idea how to do this thing, because I
imagine that's difficult.
Oh yeah, I mean, stupid shapes, and honestly, someone needs to be shot for making them. but I mean, if you just doing renders in Studio, that's fine, because you can like mesh loads of parts together anyway. So you can kind of say, oh look, I've made equilateral curved hexagon or something, and it was all like bricks that are all merging together, and it's like, oh well, that's fine. But then if you actually want to build it in real life, it's a lot more difficult. But then I just didn't know how to do this. And then it was only when I saw a Star Wars set on the shelf, and I happened to notice how they did the wing bits on, I think it's on the TIE Fighter, how they did like and they got, because that's a hexagon.
Yes, yeah.
And I was like, that's a good idea. So I just kind of used that and adapted it. So
this is the beauty of the actual Lego sets, right? They're kind of the experts, right? So you can just learn loads, and that's why it's incredibly rare that even though I part out a lot of sets that I won't actually build, I'll build 95% of what I buy, because there's always some random technique to learn. Right, just say hello to a couple of people. I've seen Cabbage is out there. Hello, Cabbage. Hello. And Sky Guy 365. Hello, Alberto. And touching on topic of studio again, quite a big topic of conversation, and we have gone way off topic. We'll reel it back in at some point.
Sorry.
We've got loads of time.
The mouth works too quickly. It's just...
But transferring techniques from studio to real life can be a pain sometimes, and I don't have experience of this yet. I've only used studio once or twice, and one of the times I transferred it from build to studio to make instructions.
Oh God, instructions.
Which is another topic we can go down another time. Maybe we can talk to people who actually have experience of doing that much more than my one time.
And probably a lot more patience in me as well.
It does take a while. But so do you often design a studio first, or always design a studio first and then build?
I do. Just because I don't, as I said, I don't have the right bricks, and it's just because it's like every part pretty much in there, and it's especially when there's a new part as well, and you see it like that would be perfect. I could do this now, and you just jump in there.
But then that new part is 75p each, and you don't want to just go buy more than you need. It's again, this is going off topic quite a lot now. So there's one of the figures that I've got that I want to do involves a part that is apparently £23, and it's a minifigure hand. So what?
Yay!
Giddy.
Yeah. So I may have to find an alternative. So anyway.
I think that's Then that's another thing about mocking, right? Like you have to work with what you've got or what you can afford. Right, I think one of the bigger shocks when I first got into mocking, which I've kind of either gotten used to or just put out of my mind now, is that it's a lot more expensive than just buying the set. I think the first thing, what got me into mocking, we're kind of maybe getting back to the first topic.
Reel it back in, come on.
But what got me into mocking was I modified the blacksmith idea set. I just built a base for it basically. So built it in a field with a stream going round and like a little bit of hills, and put the bonsai tree actually on it as well. But that was quite the shock when it ended up. This is when I discovered Bricklink.
Okay.
And also didn't necessarily know how to use Bricklink, or like what prices are good and how to get the best prices and all of that. And I think it cost me like £200. I was like, this is more than the bloody set cost in the first place by some way.
Nice. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean it was there was quite a lot to it, but I definitely overpaid for stuff and bought a load of stuff that I just didn't need at all.
Oh gosh, I don't even want to think about stuff like that. But that is a danger actually. When you're doing stuff in studio, sometimes is because you just pick apart because it looks good and it will fit. Only to realise later that it is quite expensive. So I've got one that I'm probably gonna not have it finished for ages because I need two. Hang on, 2, 4, 6, 8, about 9 headlight bricks, and they're in sand green, and I think they're about £5 each, just because of the colour. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to wait now for this.
Colour them in with a Sharpie. The same, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I can just leave some green in the sun. Maybe it'll fade it to the right shade. I don't know. So yeah.
You do this much, like text notes. I love studio for experimenting with different pieces and techniques. Yeah. Is that a good place for it then?
Yeah, I think so. Just again, something new comes out and you can see how it works, how it can, because you can do you can see like a picture of it on like New Elementary, whatever, and it's just great. But then if you can get it in studio, you can look all the way around it and see how it works.
Yeah, okay. And actually play about with it. Right?
Yeah, so it's good like that. I do like that aspect.
Nice. Say hello to Basil out there.
Hey,
all good. We've been chatting all over the place, so I don't know if we've missed much. There's no coherent stream so far.
It's a crazy paving route we're taking it. So
amazing. Okay, so we have a question. Did you ever colour a part black as it's so expensive but cheap in grey?
I have.
Oh, you have. Oh, well, yeah. Actually, this is a good segue into one of the main things you do, or big things that you do.
Well, I have actually coloured a couple of bricks black. So this is going back a very long time ago. So when I was a lot younger, I made my friend a Batmobile, which we loosely based on the one in which one was the one with Jim Carrey and now is it Batman Forever?
Is that Returns? Oh no, maybe it's I can't remember. Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's the Val Kilmer one. But yeah, anyway, so I did. So I made a Batmobile with the bricks we had. Now, because my mate used to actually just get sets and just take them apart and use the bricks, which was scandalous to me, to be honest. And it still is slightly. I can't buy a set and not use it and not build it as a set like that. But anyway. But we didn't have enough black, so I just got the old so I used any color that would fit. So it was mostly black, and there's 1 or 2 bricks that weren't. I actually just painted them with Humboldt paints. It worked. It was black from the outside.
Yeah, I do have a few. I got my about a year ago. Also, I got like a massive bin bag of Lego down from my parents' loft. Oh, yeah. Going through that, there's bits which are like coloured in with like felt tip pen. In recent times, I've only done it once, but not because of it being a cost thing. It's just didn't exist. I was doing a zombie mock, and I wanted to do a little Easter egg for Shaun of the Dead with the white shirt with like red on it. So I got I think it was a Homer Simpson torso, maybe, with a white shirt with short sleeves. And then just did a little bit of red on his top pocket. With a Sharpie.
That's cool.
But you do a lot of you paint your own bits, right? Your own pieces of Lego.
Yeah, I'm glad you cleared that one up. Because and there's a few bits I have done. Like I've repainted some Hobbit hair into white generally for the Doctor. But I've got like some custom bits I wasn't painting. I actually painted some arms the other day, just the top parts of them because I didn't need them to be the colour they were.
Nice.
So yeah, and a hat. And Carrie was very cross because it was purple originally, and it's not now.
Oh dear, I don't remember Carrie.
I know.
In fact, have we got a picture? We've got a picture of something that you created. Right? Did it involve painting? I'm going to share it. It might not be related.
There's a lot of spam I sent through, to be fair.
You're all good. Let me present.
It's going to be surprising. Which one is it?
This one. I was going to ask about it when you sent it over.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the only terrible picture, actually. I can do better than that. Never mind. I think I took this one on the fly at Steam.
Is it this one that you printed and painted yourself?
I actually didn't paint that one. My friend sent me that one.
Oh, okay, cool.
So he got that one done and painted that one up. But just because I was literally like, "Have you got this one?" Yeah. Oh, brilliant! Can I get it for Steam? And even then,
it was on Steam.
Yeah, it was. But it was only there on the Sunday because it arrived on the Saturday whilst I was at Steam. So I was like,
right, fair.
Yeah. So.
Right.
I've got that one I did the other day as well, which is.
Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, you said no. I haven't got that on my computer. But yeah, you paint your own because I guess you just haven't made them. So there's an element of. I guess this goes back to when you were a kid. It just doesn't exist in Lego, so I'll make it myself.
Yeah, that's right. It's the same with like because it's like that. I think with MOCs as well, though, isn't it? Because I think it's like these lot of sometimes it's like just the finishing touches you do as well to try and make them closer to that end point. But you do anything like some people get stickers made or they'll get stuff printed on their bricks specifically as well, and it's all to try and enhance the look of it. But sometimes
and there's a whole industry, I guess, around maybe not industry, might be a bit strong, but custom pieces and custom prints and all sorts. I'm sure. Yeah, you get into them quite quickly. It's a dangerous road. Looking at was it Baggles? The Loath Cats this week. That was a tough one to say no to. The custom Loath Cats for Star Wars. They looked amazing, but I bought a microphone instead. Which seemed more practical.
As you do. What was that?
All right, I'm going to catch up with the chat. I feel like I'm skipping backwards and forwards through it, so I'm going to scroll back a bit to see if we have anything. Let's see what Mark says. The 1% of people that are rude is outshined by 99% of people who are amazing and kind. Yeah, I can imagine.
That's fair,
yeah. Because you've got quite a bit of experience, or at least in the last year, of displaying, right?
So I did Reading, did Cot, Steam, and then we've got Bricktastic coming up.
Bricktastic. Okay.
I try to make sure that I mean, I've got stuff that I've got planned anyway. Because like last year I did a whole thing that killed me. Doing like something because my thing was obviously Doctor Who. I did something trying to do like a series of it throughout the whole year. So I did loads of MOCs that I built in studio anyway. So some of them, actually no, I did want to build them all anyway. But that wasn't necessarily with the mind of thinking, I'm going to build this and then display it. It was actually a case of I build this because actually I quite like it anyway. I shouldn't. The trouble is when I start talking, sometimes my brain's thinking, you could do this now. You could do this. It's like, no, hang on a minute. I'm thinking. But anyway, so there's a couple of things there that I can literally just think, I think actually that'd be good. And I'd like to take something new, at least one new thing to each show that I'm doing. So this was new for Steam. And so was Meat, the little habitat. So I've got a couple of things I want to take to Bricktastic, which means I've got to get those done. But they've been designed. Some of them have been designed a couple of years now. I just haven't got to yet because.
Fair enough. Yeah. And also another point about the wanting to display something new for each exhibition, but then I guess it's going to mostly be a different crowd, right? For each one, I guess. I imagine a lot of people might do it yearly because I think is there a thing around I've seen with some exhibitions where they say you can't display the same thing or you can't just display exactly the same table as you did the year before or something like that.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure because I'm sure that I've seen a couple of things the same a couple of years in a row. But I don't know for sure. But I just think in my head I would refresh it myself, and I think a lot of people are the same mindset anyway. But I mean, it gives you an excuse then to just get building the stuff as well. So.
Yeah, exactly, right. And like, even for my own, well, I mean, that's it. I only displayed once, but after that, I was like, I did have intentions for doing more last year. Didn't pan out, but yeah, I did like dismantle one and then rebuild just something completely new. I can't remember what. I was moving house. Yeah.
Just that little thing, moving house.
Yeah. Slap bang right in the middle of it. The only thing I actually know, second thing I've seen in Bournemouth, and it was just when I was moving house, because being down on the south coast, I'm quite far from everything. It seems like everything's kind of, well, everything is further north. Everything's north to me, but everything's considerably more north.
Yeah, that one is. It's gonna be a fun one to get there, I don't think.
Yeah,
transporting.
Yes, but I guess driving makes a big difference, right?
Yeah. The thing is, we'll be driving, and then on that one you've got to set up on the Friday as well. So we drive in Friday, setting up on the Friday, and then be fresh for Saturday and Sunday. So.
Yes, and knackered by Sunday evening.
Yeah. Yay.
They're out there to pink wheels.
Default setting. Oh, pink wheels. So.
Craft paint. Yeah, okay. So I guess we can go back a little bit, which you've already touched on, and we can talk about kind of our themes that we follow or like we do. Obviously, Doctor Who plays a pretty big part in your life, I suppose.
This is how we nipper.
Yeah, is it? Okay, yeah. So it's been a lifelong passion.
Yeah. There's some, yes. It's a short answer.
Did it come before Lego and feed into Lego, or are they kind of like similar? They always both played a part.
I'd say both. I'd say both, because I can't remember which started. I can't remember, but yeah.
Okay. That's cool. So you've got most of your, if not all of your displays so far. Doctor Who?
Because there's that collaborative build we did for the lug as well, which is the bridge, which wasn't, but then there was still a time.
Yes, of course. Had a hint of Doctor Who.
Always. But that's the thing. I've got like the one I haven't been able to finish. The MOC. It's like a Japanese pagoda style version of a TARDIS, but I just can't get the brick that I need to finish it, and it's just so it's just sat there in this box, feeling sorry for itself. Use a hand.
Because do you leave? Just to go off topic for a minute. Do you leave MOCs and kind of come back to them?
Yeah.
So do you have multiple MOCs going on at once? Actually, in the middle of being built. Okay.
I kind of do that all the time with everything as well. So I like. It's not just Lego related; it's general. I think it's a general habit or bad habit, maybe. How about you? I mean, do you just sort of focus on one and get it done? Or?
I tend to focus on one and get it done, really, because it's just in my head, and I just want to get the idea out there and move on with my life. And, get it done and just be able to, and then I'll get obsessed with the next thing. I think I tend to focus on probably one thing. Try to focus on one thing at a time. Trying to think. I don't. It does tend to be one thing. I just get completely caught up in it, and it takes over my life. And then I'm done, and I can relax for a minute until the next idea comes along.
It's but it's the whole not being able to self-edit thing for me as well. It's like they must just you don't have to do everything all at once. Then I do then.
So then with Doctor Who, so I'm guessing there must be quite a lot of different things you can obviously build within the whole Doctor Who universe. It's not just all is right. TARDI, plural of TARDIS.
I'd say TARDIS is. There's loads of things you could do. It's a case of whether it's worth doing as well. Because it's like sometimes. Because I mean, I've been like me and my friends had conversations about it before, like, you know, or if they, you know, if Lego did this, what would they do? And you're like, yeah, but I don't know if there is anything that really stands out other than the obvious, you know. It's like,
right, okay.
Like, so it's like just trying to find these little obscure things and that would maybe.
So what kind of stuff have done? And we can have a look at some more detailed pictures of the one you did for Steam specifically, but because I know that we've talked about like doing rock work, and then there must be quite different stuff. Like there's rock work, and there's obviously lots of like spaceships. Or is there lots of spaceships, or at least interiors of spaceships?
Yeah, there's more. Yeah, because you'd have like. Sorry to Mike Tucker, but you'd have like a couple of bottles or whatever with some bits stuck on them, and that'd be a spaceship.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
But yeah, so it's mostly internal. Yeah. I mean, thing is as well, like we did, like mention the rock work, and that's kind of the first time I've done rock work as well. But that was I only sort of did that. I'm like, there's no way on earth I would do that in studio because that's far too tedious to just do.
Yeah.
Because you know it's because you can only do one thing at a time. You can copy and paste maybe the same brick. But then that means you just got all of the same brick, but then the color may be different. You'd have to recolor recolor it. No, not for me. So I did that. I actually just ordered all the bits and just thought, right, let's give it a go. But the only reason I was able to do that was because I built Eldorado Fortress, which has got, because obviously the original had the raised base plate. This one hasn't. It's all brick built and it's all rock work that way. So I had never done rock work before, and it's actually I actually thought, for myself, the rock work in that is quite good techniques. So I kind of used what I'd done on there to try and almost replicate it, but kind of make it my own. But at the same time as well, editing myself like crazy to make sure it didn't look flat, because it's very
that's the thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, you probably found it with like landscaping as well. It's very easy to get. It would be very easy to get into the pattern of keeping it all uniform, but nature's not like that at all. I mean,
exactly. Especially with rock work, because you've got in real life the weather is shaping it, right? And just the land is forming in itself, and it's not flat. I think that's one of the things that I love about Lego is, or at least trying to do MOCs, is trying to make stuff look organic and almost like it's not Lego. And rock work can end up being kind of one of those things, but it is a lot more arduous. I can't imagine doing that in studio and then having to then go and do it again in real life. You don't want to do that, surely.
Well, that's it. I mean, I think I've sent you some pictures of like the bridge bit. So I've got there was the picture that I used as the inspiration, which was from Big Hero 6.
Let me present that quickly. Is it cool? Let me get this displayed to 2 seconds so I can share it. I'm getting quicker at this.
It's the Royal Minifigures. Yeah, so this is one of the pieces I used as an inspiration for the bridge. So this is kind of from what's it called it's San Fran Yokio or something. Cool. So it's like an Eastern influence version of America. So they got those of like the Eastern little flourishes on the architecture. So then from that, I built one in studio as well, but I didn't do any of the landscaping whatsoever because it was like, nah, I'm not doing that in there. Again, similar to work. So that's why it's really bare bones at the bottom. And then when I actually built it, then once I got the parts ordered and built it, then I added the landscape. So that was so it's quite funny. I started doing that on a build stream I was doing, and it got to the point I was getting so frustrated doing the landscape. I was just like, right, so that's the end of the stream. So that we'll call it a day. And I just ended the stream pretty much because I could just feel that I was getting so anxious and annoyed at myself because I was just putting it down, taking it up, putting it down, taking it up. So I just had to get to the point. I was like, I'm going to start swearing a lot in a minute. So I'm going to take it down because landscaping is so it's one of those things you really got to concentrate on, and you just have to head down and go for it. I mean, but to doing it whilst chatting to someone, it was, or people.
Yeah, I can't imagine, because I've thought about on my elders' family brick stream. I thought about trying to do MOCs while doing it, and first off, I don't do it in studio, so I don't know what parts I'm going to need up front necessarily. So I'd be up and down all the time getting stuff from my parts collection, and then I don't know, I just wouldn't be able to concentrate on talking to people and trying to figure stuff out, and so I can see why. And because it's definitely a thing with landscape, at least for me, like you say, you just end up getting your head down and you just go with it. And there is an element of, it's hard for me, at least in my experience, to just plan it out so much and have it look natural, because you don't want it all to be like repetitive or square. You kind of want to try and get as many organic shapes into it as possible, like you've done there. This is cracking, and good tree there. I like this piece here. I love that bit. I want to get more of them, but they're surprisingly rare on Bricklink.
Oh, are they? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got 2 recently. I think they were 60p each.
Okay.
But no one was selling more than 2 or 3.
They're tail pieces, I think, aren't they? They're classed.
Yeah, I've got one here, in fact.
Really peculiar.
Yeah, they're these.
Yeah,
they're really peculiar, but they're starting to get used for trees more. In fact, I just move my mouse over, and I will take up the screen a second. Yeah, these pieces. Yeah, I think dinosaur tails they're called.
Yeah, that's right.
But they're being used for trees, and they're really cool. And I want more of them.
You want more?
Yeah.
all the dinosaur tails.
yeah. Well, in fact, I've also got. Because we talked about before this, like favorite pieces. I've got a little tub of some of my favorite pieces. So I'll show you. Talking of dinosaur tails, there's another dinosaur tail, which is also really good for trees. Again, common theme for trees. This I like doing trees.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you've done some excellent trees, haven't you? Really. Oh, you caught me like that. Hello.
Sorry, removed myself from the stream entirely.
Okay. Fair enough.
But thank you. Yeah, no, I've gotten into. Yeah, I really like doing trees and landscaping, and it's a bit of a beast. It's quite hard to find out. I had to figure out a lot of stuff. Like, there's not, when you look on YouTube or the internet for like guides to build trees, there's some fairly basic stuff. Yeah, which is still better than Legos. But as soon as you start getting to be, admittedly, Lego's up their game a lot since I got back into it.
Which is the best Lego tree, do you think, at the minute?
I'm trying to think. The best one, the bonsai tree. The bonsai tree is always a good one. That, admittedly, is when I know it's been around for a little bit. I feel like Friends has probably got some good trees in it.
Okay, yeah.
And as hated as they are, I do quite like the A-frame cabin trees, or parts of them. They use the. In fact, got a tree parts pack. It's got these. Let me just open up the pack. Got a bunch of the Technic bits, which they use in the. I shall just take up the screen again. Which they use in the A-frame cabin. Not necessarily those bits, but like that. And then they've got them where they're angled, and they fit bits into them to go at all sorts of angles. The remove from stage button is right next to the one to go out of full screen.
Because it's not by the end stream.
Because as we learned, you can't just restart a stream. Once you end it, that just ends it. You have to start a whole new one. So I do quite like the A-frame cabin trees against everyone else's judgment. I didn't. I might have to have a look into it and just do a little judgment of trees. But I do really like building trees. I think that's kind of a brilliant organic thing to build.
Oh, no, T-Lax asking, what is everyone's favourite for mocking as well?
What's T-Lax? Oh, sorry. Let me find the questions. Everyone, here we go. Everyone, what's your favourite part for MOCs right now? Mine is a 1x1 plate with teeth. That's a good choice.
Oh, okay.
I think because teeth making a bunch of little plants. I imagine that's a really good.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty sure T-Lax been building it. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
No, I think one of my I don't know if it's my favorite, but one of my favorite ones is the ball joint pieces, just because I need lots of angles that are a bit peculiar, so I can get them with those. So they're easily my favorite to use currently.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, because you can do it all sorts of. Yeah, say what ball and socket joints.
Yeah,
I suppose.
Yeah. I think they've been on the pad ball recently as well, so that's been really useful.
Yeah,
just stock up on them all.
Yeah, I haven't got around to using them yet. Again, have I? Yeah, because I guess if they did them in brown, I'd instantly use them for trees.
But that's the only downside. It's like,
yeah, and it's something you often see in the Lego trees, right? It's like there's a random bit of grey, and you're like, okay, and it's obviously they don't have it in brown, but yeah,
yet.
Yes, yet.
I do wonder if that's though because of the whole reddish brown issue that they had or have.
Yeah, hopefully it seems better, but yeah, I quite enjoy in a similar vein to what T-Lax said is the I don't know what they're called. I'll take up the screen again. These like claw.
Oh yeah, I've got one of those.
Plate with claw, I think they are.
Got one of those up there.
They use them on to make the roof of one of the structures in the Lion Knight's castle. But you can also use them. I think they're using animals, like they're good for fur or for claws, and you can use them for dirt as well. I was using them for dirt on this MOC here. In fact,
I've got some as icicles on a MOC up there.
Yes, yeah,
quite good as well. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like that's what I quite like as well. Is when you can just look at a part and it's like this could be anything. I mean, it's like what I've done with Thor's hammer. I can't say the name. But yeah, so because they use that for it's not like in the A-frame. It's all those hammers up at the bottom to make like the bottom wall or something. It's like
yes, yeah, that's really cool.
Looks really good, and they did it on assembly square as well. Actually, so they're always good for techniques as well. I quite like just looking at them, seeing what you can do.
Got a question from Maxine. What are good parts to grab from the pad wall when they come in? Maybe a part that is hard to get on Bricklink.
Ooh,
that is a tough one because I think there's someone else. I saw a video on YouTube. Josh Build Stuff. I think there's a video he put out where he said he was going to get into mocking, and he's like, "So what makes a good pad wall?" And I was like, I don't know, because we often come away and be like, "Oh, pad wall was good today," but it's like, or like, "Oh, it was really dry."
I think sometimes it's when they've got the seasonal stuff on. It's a bit because it's kind of got bits like to make a snowman. It's like I don't need that much white to be honest.
Unless you're doing a winter village, which then it is handy. But
that's true.
It's hard to know good parts from a pad wall. It's usually the unique and interesting ones. For me, it's the ones probably that you can't stack nicely.
That's right. Like the slides, they were a fantastic addition. Obviously.
Yeah. Although I didn't actually get any slides because they were in one time. I was like, what am I ever going to use them for? Having said that, I bought some reddish brown slides to do tree trunks with, inspired by someone on Instagram.
I didn't even get reddish brown. Oh, okay.
Yeah, nor did I until I saw someone use one upside down. In fact, you know what? I might even have a picture of it. This is how organised I am. sorry, bear with. But yeah, someone used it like upside down for a tree. Again, I don't know if it's just a render or if it's let me see if I actually got it. There we go. Yeah, if it's a render, if it's actually been built.
Oh, it's a moment of truth now.
Have I been sharing a screen? Have I been sharing my screen this whole time?
No.
I just said stop. I just stopped something.
We're no longer live.
The chat's still going, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So this is Tomasz Bartoszek art. And yeah, he's got
that was very well pronounced, by the way. I must admit so.
Well, I try. I have no idea. I might have completely butchered it. But this is well. First off, this is an insane tree. Like completely illegal, I'm sure. But yeah, reddish brown slide right there, upside down.
But is it illegal though? Do you know? I never really understand that whole. Oh, it's an illegal technique. It's like, if it works, is it really illegal?
Yeah.
Like,
and to be fair, because isn't the whole thing about being illegal is that it puts like undue stress on parts. But if you're not actually connecting them to anything, like seems to be the case for a lot of these pieces, you're not stressing any of them. So is that illegal? Maybe it's illegal for Lego because they couldn't possibly sell a set.
It is in reddish brown as well. I actually did not know that.
Yeah, I bought 3 of them. I bought all of them on Booklink.
I was 2 years old when I learned that. So there you go.
Yeah, it was only after I saw this, I was like, what could that possibly be? Like, and then just thought about it. So it looks like a upside down slide.
So talking about like not knowing what parts are until you sort of work it out is so like what the thing that started me off mocking again was so I'm sure everyone is familiar with the game Lego Dimensions. So obviously there's only one reason why I bought that, obviously. But so they had all the stuff in there, like the Doctor Who stuff, and I really wanted to build it. So that's so I had to sort of try and reverse engineer it. But one of them, the one that's in the box down there, there's a bit in it, and I was just looking at it I was like, what on earth is this bloody part? And it was like, it was one of those things, and you're just looking at it, and you're like, I have no idea what this is. And then it's like one of them turned out to be a pistol that came in one of the old pirate sets, the really old ones.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, brilliant. Okay. I know what that is. And then one of them was a train wheel, for goodness sake, a train wheel in the middle of this thing, just because I was looking at this part and it had like the flare. I know it's the flange, isn't it? They had like the flange bit for the wheel. But I was looking at this part and I was like, what the hell in Lego has this possible shape? And I thought, it's just something they've done for the, like a part they designed in the computer, and it's not real. But no, it's real, and it's a train wheel. It's like, head well, yeah, exactly. And it's just.
That was Dimensions, did you say?
Yeah. That's kind of. That's why, because I spent absolutely ages. Come here, you pain in the neck. So I spent ages reverse engineering this. Because this is the first thing I did.
This is really cool. This build's awesome. I love this. I'm gonna.
It's very flimsy.
Yes, but nonetheless,
I had to add a couple of bits extra. So in the game, right? So you actually have to build this. So it comes apart in the game. There's you go to this little bit in one of the rooms, and you get all the bits. So it's not each individual brick. It's like chunks of it.
Right. Okay.
And then basically you break these things open. These parts come out, and then basically they go together and they just build it, and it actually comes together. And it's like, I really want to make that because I want that exactly how it is. So I ended up. This is really bad. So it's actually during lockdown as well. So you've got time to kill. So I ended up filming it on my phone on slow-mo while they were building it, so I could have a look at all these parts, and then I managed to actually work out how to do it. And it took absolutely ages. And then, fortunately, you can get everything in the right color apart from the wheels.
Okay.
So it's all yellow, and these are tan. It's like
it looks good. It looks amazing, though. I love that build.
But if you follow it exactly, it's really quite flimsy. So I've had to add like a couple of extra plates underneath just to hold it in place. Because because of course they're designed in a game to be used in the game where, you know, the laws of physics don't actually apply.
Yeah, and you can get away with stuff, especially if it's all like coming in chunks, right, rather than individual bricks.
Exactly. So yes, that was fun. But yeah, so it's just, I mean, it's a lot of little things like that kind of set you off down the down the road of like and stuff as well.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I don't know if my brain works like that so much, where I'll see one thing and be like, oh, I want to make that, or like that will trigger something. I think maybe, or at least it hasn't happened yet, or at least that I've noticed. Maybe more that I've seen what other people have made and be like, I want to make something like that, and then I'll do something like it, or see a technique and be like, oh, okay, I can see how I could work that into something.
Yeah,
I think that I can. Like I do like to go off of start with technique. Like there's, in fact, again, I can share a picture of a mock what I've done.
A mock what I've done.
And it started out with technique. I think, well, the whole thing behind it was that I wanted to do lots of new techniques to me and mess around with colours and stuff like that. Is that sharing? That is not healthy. Is that flickering loads? Okay,
like
I'll move my mouse away, and maybe I'll close that program in a second.
See, that's why I haven't opened Studio this evening, because you'll see nothing.
Right, yeah, it's not enjoying life. Right, I'll stop that because no one wants to see that.
It was like a disco with a strobe going on. It's quite cool.
Yeah, you know, I'll close that down. I've probably got multiple instances of open. That's not going to help. Yeah, there we go. I've opened up about 10 versions of that program. But let me try that again, actually, while we're on this. But yeah, the whole thing started out with using snot techniques to do rock work. Talking of rock work.
What's snot again?
Snot is stud snot on top. There we go. So yeah, building in all sorts of directions. And yeah, it was this brickwork here that is all a plate, and then I've built up on top of it. So it's a plate stood upright, and then it's coming out. Rather than, because quite often people will start with like slopes and build on top of the slopes. Yeah. But I figured I wanted to do something different. At least that I'd done. And yeah, it's kind of like greebling, but with rocks, I guess. Before rocks. Greebling being with Star Wars, for anyone doesn't know, where people like Star Wars, like putting random bits on to make it look like I probably not explain this very well, but outside of ships and like pipes and stuff like that.
I don't think I think they call it I know the special effects.
Okay.
It's basically they'll get like any Airfix kit, they'll get it, chop bits off, stick them on stuff, and that's like
it's that a thing, is it? Okay, yeah, cool. But this whole mock, in fact, was like loads of different techniques. Like the tower was it was surprisingly sturdy, but it was loads of 1x1 round bricks and 1x1 squares. Or no, sorry, snot 1x1 snot pieces, I think, to make the tower itself. Yeah, like kind of held together with hinge pieces that interlocked to make it a bit sturdier, and then tiled on the outside, and getting this bit, figuring out how to get a little bit up there, building the roof as well.
That roof is really good as well.
This is, again, I need to find the people's names, but these are just off of YouTube. Oh no, this was off some random person's off of the internet, and the tower technique was off of YouTube, so I can't take any credit for that. But I did figure this bit out. I was quite pleased with that. And then, messing around with trees and different colours.
I think definitely sort of building sort of more natural shapes is definitely your thing, if that makes sense. Yeah,
I really like trying to make things look natural, and that's kind of like where I want to go this year, is figuring out my style a bit more and expanding on it, and almost getting away from having minifigures in my builds.
What?
Yeah, I know, right?
Outrageous.
But yeah, like trying to build scenery with it, rather than relying, as I often do, on minifigures to tell the story.
Yeah, I know you mean. I just like my minifigs. But
no, and don't get me wrong, I've got God knows how many minifigures. I didn't want to get all of the latest CMF series, and I've gone and bought all of them except one, I think, maybe except two. And it was like, I only wanted 4 or 5 of them, and yeah, there we go.
But the thing is, again, though, even with them, there's the is it the athlete, and she's got the 2
yes, prosthetic legs, right?
Yeah, and as soon as I saw that, all I could think of was, okay, I can do oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. From How to Train Your Dragon, I can't remember his name.
Oh, okay.
Hiccup, thank you.
Oh yeah.
So I thought Hiccup, because there's some amazing toothless MOCs out there as well. And again, because it's natural, I'm not very good at that yet. I'm sure I'm trying. But yeah, there's that really, really ones. They look really adorable as well. I mean, but then as soon as I saw that, I was like, brilliant. Yeah. We can do a proper Hiccup. Then we can do toothless as well. Oh, those films. Anyway, it's completely.
Hello out there to Trevor's videos.
Oh, cool. Hey, Trev. You all right?
I need to give you a big thank you for doing a video for us. That was incredible. Really kind and awesome. And thank you everyone who has, while we're here, saying thank you, who's been putting up stories. It's been a bit of a crazy day today, trying to repost stories and try to do work at the same time.
I've got to the point where I'm like, oh gosh, I've got to feed the cats. I can't do anything else. I have to feed them because they'll go nuts.
My cat. Yeah, there's no way I could feed my cat. She wouldn't. She would let me know. But, and also hello out there to Jake, Eric, and Andy from Andy's Books and Figures. Just having a look through the chat. Lots of hellos. Hello to Trevor. Lots of love for Trev. Mark is mocking alongside the stream.
Hey.
This is good. Inspiring some mocking. I think part of, at least from my perspective, part of doing the stream is I wanted to try and break it down so people can get into mocking as well, because it's quite an intimidating thing to start with. You see, well, even for me now, it's intimidating seeing what some people make on Instagram. And then the thought of like trying to do that, and that's what I can't remember who it was. I saw someone saying about not comparing themselves to, I think it was a week ago, or someone, or Pink Wheels, not comparing to what other people do, and that's really easy to say and hard to actually practice.
Easily.
So I think there's an element of just forgetting that and just doing your own thing, right? And
exactly. I mean,
getting on with it.
As you say, because as well, I know that you say like it can be intimidating just starting it. That's, I mean, like, I keep going on about it, but like before, like in November, I was trying to encourage people to just build something. I know it's Doctor Who related, but that's why I was doing like the habitats, because I think you can do so much with them in such a small space, and it's a good entry in, and then you can kind of, this is an 8x8, but what could I do if it is a 16x16? What could I do if it's a 32x32? And I think it's a good way of showing people that actually anyone can do it. You just need your brain, really.
That's it. You're bringing some pieces, right? A bit of imagination, and not that much imagination up front, at least, right? Like there's an element of just, once you get started, ideas come to you, and you'll reiterate on stuff. Like with that build I just showed, I don't think I knew up front exactly what I wanted, or maybe I did. Maybe that's a bad example, because actually, I planned that one out. I even did a sketch of that one. But there have been builds where I've not known what I wanted to make, and I've just started and like, I know that I want some rocks in this, or I want a building, and then from there it's just gone from there. And like, you don't need to have a whole big idea to start with. You can start from something small and just let it flow from there. Yeah,
that's it. Because I guess, you've got if you've got like a whole plate, you can just say, okay, I'm just going to do something in that corner there, and then you can be like, actually, I quite like the way that's going, or maybe I'll expand on it, or say, and then you slowly filled it and realize you need 2 more plates.
We've all been there. But yeah, that's part of what I wanted to do this stream was to help share techniques on how to get into it and take away some of that intimidation. And there is kind of, I don't know if I'm the best person to necessarily talk about trying to do it cheaply, because I did it coming out of the pandemic when everyone had loads of, I had spare money, I didn't have a mortgage, and Lego took over exactly the right time for me to get into it. So I kind of went pretty big straight off the bat. But having said that, you don't need loads of parts, because I've got so many parts that I just don't use, and that I've overbought, and I don't need 200 clips, or like 1x1 plates with teeth that I've got with the pad wall. What am I going to use all of those for?
You'll say that, and then you'll be like, actually, I've just thought of a really good way of doing using clip pieces. And you'll be like, there you go. Oh, actually.
Let's see what the chat's saying. There's Trev. There you go. Thank you again, Trev. Yes, you're awesome. Hope you're doing well. Let's see what. Honestly, the reason why I end up building last minute for a show is usually because I'm too anxious to get started. That's a fair point. Yeah, okay. It's easy to knock your tech in your videos when you're like, oh my gosh, I've lost it. Like, how do you do that? But that's a very fair point. And then I guess you've also got the pressure, right? You've got that time limit. And if you work well under pressure, then fair play to each their own and all of that.
That's the other thing as well, contending with the mess.
Yes, and you know what? This is very topical, poignant for me, because I'm dealing with mess at the moment. That's definitely stopped me from actually building stuff, because first off, my room, my Lego office, I guess, to take Shai's phrase, I work in here all day, and it's also my Lego room, so it gets messy, and just doing Lego is messy. I've been saying this. A friend's just recently got into Lego. I feel like I've enabled someone to get into Lego.
And Wally won't thank you.
No, I have warned him. I've been warning him quite a lot this week. Like, pick a theme or 2 and stick with it, because it's expensive. But he's like, oh, what are you building for? I'm just tidying, mate. Like, I need to clear all this up, because it's just months worth of like playing around with some bricks and then not putting everything away properly straight away. And it's like, maybe I do have a bit I don't know if I work on multiple things at once. I just don't finish something, don't tidy up, and then move on to the next thing.
But my room's tidy from like here up.
This bit's fine. And my parts collection is clear. It's everything else, because I suggested, didn't I, about us taking photos of our room
that's not happening.
to show people. And I was like, I need to tidy up before I can do that. Although, actually, having said that, I did take. We could discuss a bit about our parts collection. I have got a picture of my parts collection.
Oh, I don't. Mine are all. I've lit my. I think I don't even mention it again because Mark's in the chat and he might get a bit upset. But I've literally just got those resealable little baggy things with mine in, and they're
okay.
So
that's
So if I want something, I've got to empty the whole thing because it's going to be the one at the bottom.
Yes, of course it is. That's how I started out. And now I've got a whole section of a wardrobe dedicated to the little baggies or various sized bags for Lego parts, because that's how I stored all of them. And I still do it a bit. I've got like a few big drawers with bags, but I'll show you show off my parts collection, I suppose. This is the tidier part of my room.
Is this before you moved in? Is it going to be now?
yeah. So yeah, this is.
Oh, you see, mine's not even close to that.
This is the bulk of my parts collection. I've still got some lug bulk in a box and
that's cool.
A few boxes of stuff which I just haven't sorted out. But yeah, I do love having it all sorted out like this. Like these.
You're trying to shame me now, aren't you?
But it takes a while though, and then having these annex drawers can hold a lot in them because you can use these like IKEA tubs, whatever they're called, and they've got various sizes. And I think a lot of people have just like one layer of them, but you can stack 2 layers. So if you know roughly what's in each drawer, you can just look underneath.
I'm trying to work out where I'd put them if I did have any.
I just got tired of looking through bags and not really knowing. And because when everything's in bags, it's really easy to just move it somewhere else. I mean, like, oh, it was over here. Oh no, it was there before, and then I've moved it, and I've forgotten where I moved to. So yeah, now I do try to keep my parts organised.
How do you sort them? Do you? I mean, not list by list. I mean, do you like go by color, or are there like a categories? Because I know
by category first. So it'll be like it's very much my own way of doing it, but I guess. But like plates. Let me see where my plates are, because admittedly, not all my plates are together. I've got plates. All of these down here are plates.
Okay.
Some of them I've got them like by bigger, like square plates, and then also wedge plates and like rounded plates, and they're divided up mostly by color, or like grey, dark grey, black and white together, various colors. And then I've also got smaller plates in here, 1x2s, 1x3s, 1x4s, 1x5s, and curved plates as well. Over here, all my like 2x plates, except for the 2x longer plates, which are over here somewhere. 1x long plates up here somewhere. And then bricks are 1x2 bricks are all in here. Special couple of drawers for my masonry bricks.
Okay.
That's when a pable's good, is when it's got good amount of good masonry bricks on there.
Oh yeah. Actually, Bristol's got the white ones in the whole thing.
Has it? Yeah, I did stock up. I happened to go to Southampton. It must have been a couple of months ago now. The day that they were stocking up on the wall, I just got everything. It was amazing. It was the best day. So I just got all the white bricks that I could.
So that's why they weren't there when we went there.
Yeah, maybe.
No. I think I tend to categorize mine just because I say again, because I use Studio, I kind of everything's categorized in there as it is on Bricklink. So in my head, I just know that's kind of how things work. So for me, so it's a case, modified brick there, wedge plate there, round brick there, and
I think Bricklink probably plays into my organization a lot as well, because because I've stared at Bricklink for hours now, and that's just how I categorize everything. I do bunch some bits together.
So I do that with Technic because I have no idea.
I've got a dedicated Technic box.
It's like, is it a Technic pin? Is it a Technic axle? Oh gosh.
Yeah.
It's just the bit that I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes trying to find, like in Studio on Bricklink, because it's just something that I use all the time, and we always get in the overdose for something, but I have no idea what it's categorized as. Yeah. I do have most of the Technic. I do have some Technic. I do actually have. I've got a tree section in part, so all the reddish brown stuff, and I've got any reddish brown Technic, and then plant leaves and stuff, and water effects as well. I quite like trying to do water, so I've got like a water drawer. But that's the bulk of my art collection.
And that's the tidier part of my room. And hopefully at some point I will show the rest of it.
And if anyone wants to know, mine's exactly the same, so we don't need to say anything.
But then, because you design your studio first, right, and then buy, you don't have so many extra parts, or do you? Is that
well? So what happens is I build on Studio, and then you export the list to Bricklink, and then you'll go on. You can order everything, so you can do like a bulk buy thing. You can go to the store, you can go and select everything. But the trouble is, you can do that. You can buy the bricks you need, but then there's nothing then that tells Bricklink what you've ordered from your list so far. So you have to go and manually update it. So what can happen is you can order something, and then you'll order something else from a different store, and you suddenly get double the amount of something.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not just like a few extra. It's actually double the amount.
It can be, and especially as well if it's like a part that you only need 2 of, and suddenly you end up with 8, and you're like, what am I going to do with these now? But I will find them. There'll be some point that they come up, and that did happen recently. Actually, you know what? So did a shadow box for London Bridge bricks for the build to give challenge. So built a heart, and off of the paddle I got like, I don't know, a ridiculous amount of these little red crystals, gems, and I was I got home after buying. I was like, why on earth did I buy like 400 of these little gems? And I was like, I'm never going to use them. And then turns out I did use them, because I used nearly all of them in that build. I didn't have it here anymore. It was on the shelf behind me. But so it does happen. It does happen that you will use some of those ones. Just from Maxine. What do people recommend to use for sorting parts? I have IKEA drawers and the wee grey inserts, but just curious what others use. Yeah, it'd be good to see what other people do use, actually, because I think I based mine a lot on YouTube. I think the Plastic Architect was quite a big influence, seeing how she organised her part collection. So I probably copied her pretty much to a T. It's kind of like that's the kind of thing that it is in my head for my collection, but actually in reality it's very, very poor. And I know it's
But there we go. Gaz, do I need to come over?
You'd have to sort the whole room out. You couldn't just do one bit, and that's not fair. I really want to take this out of the box, but I'll just have a look how badly it's transported since Steam. I've got loads of this stuff, so I keep getting. Oh, you can't see it very well. I'm going to take this out in a flurry and rip it all apart now. What's built inside? But I've got loads of these, which I've got. I think I've got them in like Lego sets I bought, and they're really useful to pack around the edge.
That's a good shout, because they're one of those things that I just get rid of instantly, because there's no way I'm storing them without really knowing. There's like, I could use that if I ever sell something and it's good for packaging. But I can actually see why why you would use it for transporting MOCs. That's a really good shout. How did it survive?
It actually looks all right, and I can't take it out because I've taped it down. Which is probably why it's fine.
There we go. That's a good tip. Tape it down. Okay, noted. Yeah.
I actually took that idea from Brick Hive, because when he took his MOC to Chicago, I think he screwed it down in the back of his van. He literally just had these, I think it's wooden bits. He just put.
Who was that, Hive, did you say?
Yeah.
I saw that.
In the back of his, didn't he? And I was like, that's actually not a bad idea, really. Kind of done like a cheap version
similar
of that.
To what Johanna High Tea Toys and Ollie did for Steam, and like similar. They built they were ridiculous, like genius. Like they built like a wooden box, didn't they? Which was mostly cut out at the bottom, except it had a border. Then they put the sections of the build on top of these bits of wood, so they could. Then they basically put their hands through underneath the box, and then they could lower it down so that the bit of wood the mock was on basically made the floor of the box, and then they could just. I think they also screwed that down into the back of his van because Ollie's got like a van they run a carpentry business.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's cheating though because they're carpenters and it's not us.
Yes, yeah.
It's me with a cardboard box, and it's like, oh well, we've made this amazing thing. You're like, you sell them?
Already got a head start.
Oh, they'd make a killing, wouldn't they? Be like, oh, we can do a bespoke Lego transportation box for you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. Well, because before Johanna got into that business, or maybe at the beginning, she was thinking about getting into like designing people's Lego rooms and building custom stuff for it. Because she did actually design in my old flat. She did help me design my office layout in terms of with Lego in mind. So, but then she got working in carpentry, and I think it takes up a lot of time. It's a busy job.
Lego and that. Oh my gosh, you must be packed. Oh gosh.
Yeah, right. Maxine's asking, what are people's favourite sets for parting out? Maxine, I'm loving all the questions you're asking, by the way. Thank you for this.
I don't really do parting out at all, but I understand the Indiana Jones. One of the Indiana Jones.
That's one of the. This is I can't remember what it's called. The one with the temple with the snakes and everything. The text there. It's mainly sets with good figures. I don't care for. Yeah, this is a good point. I will often buy a set for the figures, and then the parts are just extra, and they'll go in the box. Having said that, this one looks like I feel like I'm advertising it. I think I've shown this 3 times. It's good. Yeah, the cherry blossoms might be good for trees. Eiffel Tower is a good Star Wars part pack.
Oh yeah, it's nice to look at. I wouldn't want to build that one personally. It's just
no, thank you. There you go. What's this? Gaz turns up the Southampton pub wall, opens up that drawer, and it reminds him of home. This is your favourite drawer, where it's just a mix of all of the random parts.
It is. It's just a scaled down version of my box. It's funny.
Tilak is asking, where can he and others see your MOCs?
So if you can check out my Instagram page for a lot of them. Hopefully I'll be taking better pictures of some of them because I'm not very good at doing that.
That's a whole thing itself, isn't it?
But otherwise, I've got some around me, and I will be at Bricktastic, where a lot of the ones I've built will be there. In fact, pretty much all of the ones I've built will be there because I've got 2 tables to fill.
Oh, have you? Oh, nice.
You everything fits on
Steam,
one.
Didn't you? Yeah. Did you have 2 at Steam, or was it just the one? You were overflowing on one table, weren't you?
Yeah, it's just the one, so it will fit. It will easily fit on there. To be fair, and it just gives me an excuse to add more because I need an excuse to add more, obviously. Dear me, I'm going to put it all afterwards.
Yeah, that's another thing, right? Yeah, I can see why you would leave it just in the box, especially. Are you thinking of displaying that again?
Yeah, this one, and this one, I'm happy then to. Oh no, we've got the Black Country Book Show. So after that one, I'm happy then just to put it back in the shelf because it is actually supposed to just live there and those shelves there. That's specifically there for that, and then it hasn't been on there for the best part of the year. I feel kind of bad, but I think
just quickly before we get to what Nicole said, how long do you keep a MOC like built for? Do you break it down? Like, how long do you keep it built for after you finish it?
So because the trouble is, I built these because I just wanted them as like sets anyway. So it's a case of not going to get broken down. I mean, I'd possibly break down Habitat. I mean, I've got this one here, which is kind of. I've got this one here, which is kind of a smaller-ish version of that one.
Let me make you full screen for 1 second. Not removed from stage, and then I'll just cut that for a second.
So I've got this one, which is kind of the same story as that one. So I don't really want to do the same thing. I will.
You've got a bigger, more detailed version of it, I guess.
Yeah, so it's a case of I don't really need two. So in theory, I'll break it up, but I haven't yet. And it's been a good couple of months. It's like, but I could use the pieces actually because it's got a pearl gold disc in it, which I really want to use elsewhere.
Yeah, that's the pieces. Need for pieces is a good point because that's the mock I showed with the tower and everything. I dismantled most of it except I kept the tower. But there's so many 1x1 round bricks in there, light bluish grey round bricks, that I could use for something else. I don't want to break it down, but I also don't want to go and buy. It must be like 500 of them in there. And I don't want to go and buy 500 more of them because that's another order that I've got to put in. What is nickel sizing? Sorry, I'm not patient enough to buy needed pieces for my builds. I change my mind before I receive them. It always leaves me with a feeling of frustration. And I hear that, yeah. And this is part of my problem from not using Studio up front. So I at least have an idea of what I'm going to need. Where it's like, if I'm doing rock work, okay, I'll just buy all of the grey bits I can find in a seller store and be like, oh, that might look good on a rock. Like that rock where I was using random pieces. Like there's a boat in there, there's a motorcycle chassis, all sorts. So I was buying loads of stuff where it's like, oh, that could look good as a rock because I really like the whole like nice parts usage and all of that.
Yeah.
And so I try and get in as many random pieces as I can. But it also means you buy loads of random crap off a bricklink that you don't need. And yeah, it turns up and you're like, oh, I'm never going to use that. Why did I buy that? And then I also, it's completely different now, I'm probably never ever going to use it, but I'm an absolute sucker for buying pieces, weird pieces. Let me just see if I've got one to hand. Here we go.
Is it going to be printed tiles? Oh,
well, printed tiles I do get, but random pieces like that, like
a horse's head as well. Okay,
yeah, I've got an elephant's head as well. I don't know why I bought it. It just took my fancy. It made me laugh. I think it was 3p, but now I've got to. It's constantly. I've got a couple of big boxes, a couple of big drawers of like parts for sorting, and they're just constantly in there. And every time I go through the drawers, I see them. It's like, what am I going to do? Why did I get you? Why did I get that? Yeah,
I've got a thing for tiles with clocks on as well, just because I've got like a clock room.
Okay.
The one that's like there in pieces, but also I found as well that Lego do this will probably never show up on camera, but it's a pocket watch. They do a pocket watch tile. So I've now got 3 of these. I don't know why, but they're really cool. So, but yeah, so stuff like that. But you can use them in so many different things as well. So
yeah,
that's my justification. But it is with everything. It's like when there's it's not on Southampton when we were there last for the airfoil day. They had a whole drawer of the 2x4 snot bricks. Is it 2x4? Yeah, no, not 2x4. Yeah, it's not 2x4, is it? It's 2x2. The 2 high, 2 across. The square one anyway. With
okay,
like that.
Where it's got it all on the outside. So it's got, like I said, 1x2 by 2. Is it? And then it's got studs on top and on the sides.
On the top and on the front. That's it. Just an
and on the front. Sorry. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah.
So I know that they are really useful. So it's like, I have to get them. So
yeah,
because you can bury them in stuff. You can even put. I mean, that's a good thing. You don't need the right color in those at all because you can just literally put them there and smack a plate on if you have to.
Yeah. So, exactly.
Very good. See,
yeah, I've heard you saying stuff is taking his mocks apart. It gets easier. See, the first one was horrible, and then after that, it was a bit easier, and now it's all too easy to take them apart. And I feel like I've taken a few too many apart recently. It's like, I could have kept that one going for a while. Admittedly, space is a thing.
Well, see, because I kind of put stickers on some of mine. It's like, well, it has to stay like that now. What a shame.
Yeah, okay. And yeah, shout out to Alberto for Theed, because that is an absolute thing of beauty.
Oh yeah.
I think at this point I don't know what time you want to go. We're coming up to 10 o'clock, so I don't know if you want to kind of
I don't know.
Start wrapping things up. I think the 2-hour mark sounds about good.
Sounds good. Have we? I can't remember if we've covered the points.
The topics. Let's have a look.
You have done 2 of 10.
So, how did you get into mocking? I don't think we've done that. That's number 1. I think I said about modding something. How did you get into mocking?
That's when I wanted to just make those things from the video game.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah.
Expanded exponentially from there.
So was that car one of the first things you made then?
Yeah, that was
actual.
Then it was, and then I just did the consoles, which I just remembered I've got them here.
Again, I just realised
in a Wally box for those who wanted that.
Have you got a check it out?
Oh yeah. Nice. So I've got various ones. So I've got this one.
Oh, that's cool.
And this is the wrong one. I'm waiting for Lego to bring this out in clear. So I need this in trans clear, Lego, please. It's a 2x3 cone. What do they call it? Oh, that's all gone. That's all hinges. I've got this one. Very camera as well. And again,
that's cool.
Again, if these weren't in grey, but like a tan or a nugget, that would be amazing. Thanks.
What are these called? Are these consoles? Did you say these are the TARDIS console? Yeah. There's one missing. No, there's not one missing. It's in the other room. And then these are all the earlier ones. All these ones. So there's 3 of these, all slightly different. And again, instead of tang, could we have all these parts in nice aqua green? Because that's the colour I need. So, and I'm not getting the spray paints out on that much Lego. It's just, But yeah. So these are the ones that I built after the car and that beastie down there that is just stuck down. I don't want to risk taking it out. I should do. Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I just realised. I think I've kept my first proper little mock. I made like a Shatari ship from Avengers.
Oh yeah.
Because I had the modulars, got into modulars, got like Assembly Square, police station, the bookshop, and boutique hotel.
That's the angular one, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. I love that. I did that in mirror builds to make it fit with my last shelf setup, and I'm never taking it apart because doing a mirror build of that absolutely blew my mind.
Hey, got it out. Okay, so this is the other one. This is the one that's a nightmare to transport, just because it has to stay like this. And this is pretty much floating on this. I've got one point of contact which isn't attached at the minute.
That's all you need. Oh, you
yeah.
Just need one point of contact.
Well, don't let me clip it back on properly. Come on, you pain. Clearly it's grumpy because it hasn't been moved for a couple of months. Sorry. Oh, there you go. Cool. So yeah. So that's that one. This is generally the centerpiece. Would it work if I do that? Hang on. If I do that, this is the point now I'm going to move and it's all going to go horribly wrong. Of course, it's
drama in the first.
And of course, it does that as well.
That's cool. Lights is another thing I really want to get into, but
turn off now.
We won't start that conversation now.
No. Yeah, it's got a fair amount of lighting on it, but that's actually from the idea. It's actually from the Ideas TARDIS lighting kit, and I just kind of adapted it all and replaced a couple of them.
Right.
God. I'm just going to put this on the desk because I don't want to. It's too much faff.
Do you know what, Matt? I think just saying, if you ever do an oversized Godfather horse in the bed scene, I'm good. Yes, that is the only thing I can think of. I do have a bit of a morbid sense of humour when it comes to Lego. I do quite like to build in a bit of blood and gore sometimes. If I get, it. Yeah. The scene before that, I had the dead bodies laying around with blood everywhere, and in the like bright red, so it's fine.
You can get the splat, can't you? The the ice cream splat.
Yes, I've got a couple of them. In fact, there's one on that tower. But you can't get it in red, I don't think. I think I've got it in blue, pink, and white. I want to say it's a really cool piece, though.
Yeah, it was very useful. Did I use it for? Oh, no, I've used it for something in my studio. Of course, it's in studio. I haven't got it.
Or at least that's what they had on the pub site last year when I bought them.
To look at now. I'm terrible googling stuff. That's what I mean. I'm always. It's like as soon as I find out something on a part that I like, I'll go on Bricklink straight away and have a look. Oh, have we got it in the color I need? No. What's the closest color? So it's like I've got one of the ones I want to do for Bricktastic. I built it in studio, so it was kind of like the ideal colors. And I had a look at it the other week when I uploaded the parts list finally, and it was like, this part is not available in this color, and it's like, oh god, what one is available? So you kind of have to adapt it. But fortunately, it was when I looked on the model, they're kind of embedded deep inside anyway. So it's like, it doesn't matter. So
okay, yeah, that's all right then. Right. So topic 2 was why MOCing? What attracted you to it?
For me, it was just because it was a way I could actually expand on the theme of my choice. Because there's nothing, and with all the will in the world and how much I love it, I don't think, as it is at the moment, I don't think that they would do more.
Okay.
Just because it's brilliant. I mean, from my point of view, it's brilliant. Why is no one watching it? Why everyone should watch it and love it? But realistically, it's not as big as your Star Wars. It's not as big as Harry Potter. It's I mean, it's the same. I mean, you think really like Star Trek has always been quite consistently big, but again, that's not there. And again, now I don't think that's quite at the right level, the same level.
Yeah, maybe. I think is there also like I can't remember which company has the rights to Star Trek. Blue Bricks.
Blue Bricks. Yeah.
So I wonder if that plays a part. But also, does anyone do? I guess no brick companies do Doctor Who then.
Not now. There was one that did some 8 years ago. Oh, I'm not. That's too high. But they had these really. Oh, they've got Amy Pond. Yeah, and they did. It was so they kind of looked a bit like, slightly like the Kobe figures. But it wasn't. So it wasn't real Lego. So they had minifigures like this. So this is
almost like mini dolls.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mashup between the two. So this is Amy Pond. So that was that. But again, I've got that now. But yeah, so I don't think anyone does it now, and I don't think they will. Sadly.
No. Myself, why MOCing? What attracts me? I think the creative side of it. I think I've always had a bit of creativity in me. I've always done things like as a kid. I did art. I was really into art, like did acting and stuff, or like I say, acting drama as a kid.
Oh yeah, I did that as well actually.
And then got into music, started playing guitar, played a few guitars, and like quite often would just make my own stuff up on that as well. Like figure out the basic, like figure out scales, and then you can just do what you want.
That's so true.
And then got into DJing, which is a similar thing, like maybe less so, but making almost like building a city. You've got the components, and then how you put them together is like at the end of the whole thing as a whole is your MOC, as it were.
That's the thing actually as well. Yeah, I've did because like for years I think similar to you, because I did like drama theatre stuff in uni and schools or whatever. And then kind of when you kind of get into the adult world, you're kind of just like in an office 9 to 5 or whatever, then you have that sort of creativity that's inside, and it's just it just wants to get out, and you've got no way of actually letting it out. And then like doing MOCing and stuff, it's such a good outlet for it as well. I mean, I remember like before I actually started doing all this, there's a lot of time when you'd just be really sort of frustrated, and you'd be like, oh, I just need to do something creative, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'd played like The Sims 3 for ages and ages, and like, I wouldn't play the actual game. I'd just be building stuff. Like,
Cool.
they had a world builder for Series 3, which Series 3, it's The Sims 3, which is really great. So you could like sculpt the terrain. I wasn't too interested in that. But you could do the buildings, and you just do all sorts of buildings. But then, because it's virtual, not real, it's kind of doesn't fulfill that, because I also need something tangible to hold in front of me as well, I've discovered. So this is perfect, because I can do a bit of both as well.
Yeah.
As well.
Just seeing a comment. You guys should do like Dancing with the Stars, but building with the stars, and it's people who don't mock build that have to build with pros. Okay.
That sounds like Lego Masters.
I was going to say exactly the same. Yeah, because every now and then, or maybe quite regularly, you get a team where one person knows what they're doing, right, and the other just kind of like their friend.
That's right.
Like, it helps, and then ends up becoming amazing out the back of it.
I know, it makes you sick, doesn't
it? Yeah, absolutely, the best kind of crash course. Right.
Catch up on.
I think we have actually. Other than, would you go on Lego Masters? I think we'll finish with that. I think that's actually the last thing. Yeah. Would you go on Lego Masters?
I don't know. I'd like to think that I could, and I would be focused enough to just do the one thing on there. But then I think the trouble is, I mean, you've got access to pretty much every brick as well. So I mean, and I do get frustrated watching it when, you know, they're given these topics of like, oh, you can build this, you know, or, you know, we want you to build, I don't know, something from your imagination that does this. And you get people sometimes, and they're just there for like an hour. They waste an hour. And they don't do anything.
So frustrating.
And it's like, why have you not done this? This is the obvious. This is the obvious. Just do it. And so that's just me. I get irritated with stuff like that, because it's like, it's in front of your eyes. Do it.
Yeah, I can understand why, maybe, like the getting completely overwhelmed, but at the same time, just go basic. If you're in that position, just go really basic to start with, and then build it.
Exactly, because you can start, as we said, you can start small. You can start in the corner of one thing, and you can just let it expand out. And it's like, it's just the only limit is your imagination, which is cheesy, but also I suppose it's like though when you're at home watching a quiz show, and you know all the answers, of course, because you're at home on your sofa. And then if you're actually on the quiz show, it's like, what is your name? Can I phone a friend? You know.
John.
John. No.
Yeah, I would love to do Lego Masters. I say I'd love to. Like the whole, I think before I got, I think one of the things, I think like quite a lot of people probably, watching Lego Masters got me back into Lego, or at least brought it to the forefront, because I'd kind of forgotten about it, and then I'd see an advert for Lego Masters, and I was like, oh yeah, Lego's a thing. And then you see adults doing it, and you're like, oh, adults do Lego. Yeah. But then I didn't actually already know it. Randomly, sorry, just in terms of comments, that's a very good point about
I know. I
completely forgot about the poll. We will check that.
Thanks, StreamYard, for reminding us not.
Yeah, StreamYard. Seeing Lego Masters and adults do it, and it's awesome. Although actually, no, sorry, having said that, I was going to say I did actually know when AFOL was a few years before getting back into Lego, because Wired magazine did an article on AFOLs and Lego.
Okay.
So maybe that kickstarted my it brought Lego back to mind. But watching Lego Masters.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm not the only one. Oh,
and watching Lego Masters, like seeing what they could do with it, which probably feeds into, does feed into why I got into MOCing, because I see what they could do on Lego Masters. That is incredible, absolutely amazing.
It's when you see all the colours they've got as well. You're like, what? Because it's like,
Yeah.
I remember like when I was younger, like I remember, oh God, this is going to age me. So when Jurassic Park came out, I remember thinking that was amazing. Why is there no Lego? So I tried to do some Lego of Jurassic Park. Didn't have all the right bricks, but the only colours I had to work with was it? It was red, black, blue, yellow, and white. Is that right? Yeah. So they were like, because they didn't have many colours in Lego. So it's like, I think I had a red T-Rex. The Land Cruisers were different colours, so they were wrong. And like what was it? The Velociraptors, I think they were blue or something.
That. Weird colours. Yeah.
It's like, oh, come on. And now they've got all these colours, and everyone's like, oh, we need another one. We need some reddish orange. You're like, you need a reddish orange. You'd be lucky if you had orange when I was.
Don't know you're born.
Yeah, bloody kids today.
But yeah, I wonder how I would handle the pressure of it. I wonder if I would be one of them people that's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I do like to think I can be decisive though, and if I spent half an hour doing nothing, like, sod this, let's just do something, get it going, and we can figure it out from there.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'd be fine-ish, because I'm when it comes to like general like pressure, like in workplace, whatever, I'm usually fine internally, but internally I can be like, I'll be like, this is fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah. I think, same. I've worked in some very stressful. In fact, I think this is probably the calmest job I've had in my whole time of working after uni in like 20 years. Otherwise, for the last 18 years, it's been just manic. So I'm quite used to working under pressure. But like I say, internally screaming. Sometimes not screaming at people, but screaming outwardly or getting annoyed outwardly. But yeah, no, I'd like to think that I'd like to do it.
Yeah. They need like a dummy one, so we can all have a go.
But I wouldn't do the UK one if the UK one's the worst one. So or at least historically.
You might get a free trip to Poland, because they did the last one, wasn't it? So.
Is it?
Was it Poland? I think it was. I can't remember.
Right then. Shall we wrap it up there?
And look at the poll results as well, maybe.
Yes, very good point. Right, okay. So now this is the learning experience. So I'm guessing we can end the poll. And where do the results show?
Oh, there you go. Yep, they're up.
At the bottom. There we go. So, do you make MOCs? Yes, 67% of people do make MOCs. 25% don't, and 7% are somewhere in between, with a total of 28 votes.
And don't forget, YouTube takes at least 1%, I think, of the vote, if I remember.
So, does it?
Maybe. I think that doesn't necessarily add up to 100, if I remember.
Oh, really? Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah. Adds up to 99%. Yeah. Okay.
And that'll be the next poll. We'll do what Jake's saying. Which is 67.
Cool. This has been awesome. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Been sorry we haven't. I'm sure we've missed a lot of comments, and hopefully not missed anyone. I think. Hello to 2 gay false. I think.
Yeah,
that's the last person we haven't said hello to.
Building their Scooby-Doo tonight,
I think. But yeah, we will be back in 2 weeks' time with extra special guest Alberto, Sky Guy 365. We will be asking him all sorts of stuff, especially around feed.
Yes, that amazing feed. If you haven't seen it, check it out in the meantime as well, because do go see it. It's a thing of beauty, absolute thing of beauty. Like Lego could sell it. A thing in the chat actually.
Yes, we'll put out a link close to the time to his YouTube and Instagram. Yeah, he started going quite strong on YouTube recently.
Yeah.
So we'll be back in 2 weeks.
That's the 24th, isn't it? That's
24th,
right.
yes.
Yeah.
Wednesday the 24th, 8 o'clock UK time, 9 o'clock European time.
Yeah.
3 o'clock EDT, which I think is Canada and some of America. I'm not going to go into the American time zones.
It's like, oh, that's good. That's a good, yeah.
Yeah, I leave it there. I won't embarrass myself.
You can say any time, and I'd be like, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good. To be honest.
Cool. Right. In fact, did you have anything that you wanted to plug? Anything you're working on over the next 2 weeks?
Well, I mean, I'll be doing my stuff for the Bricktastic, but it's mostly virtual at the minute. But I'll probably put teasers up there because one of them's going to be one of the things I'm going to be doing for it. It's going to then start then doing the rounds for the next year because actually it's when we were talking the other day, and I was thinking, oh, what am I going to do for Reading because it needs to be different. And then suddenly I had a light bulb, and it's like, oh, it's 50 years since this. Brilliant, because obviously I have to keep the same theme because it's just do. So that'll be that. Just what I'll do as well. So yeah, I'll just put a link as well to Alberto in the chat very quickly, just so anyone wants to check it out in the meantime. That'd be cool.
Yeah, do. And you're on London Calling on Friday, right?
I believe so. Yes.
I assume so.
Yeah.
And we're both on Saturday, aren't we?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
London Bridge Bricks member stream.
Yeah, the London Underground with the rocking tune as well. I do love that music, so
yeah,
because I'm a sucker for music. So cool. And you're on
almost, Family Bricks tomorrow, Matt Elders stream from 8:30.
Yeah,
and then Greg stream Saturday, and otherwise we'll see what happens.
Yes, and then obviously we're back here on the 24th again. So.
Yeah, Wednesday 24th. Hope we see you then.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Well, I'll see you guys. Hope we see everyone in the chat then.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching.
Cheers. See you later. Bye.
Bye.